Like a hamster on its wheel, we circle round and round. We play this role well because we played it before. And before. And before. And before. And before. Why? Why? Please, tell me why. I see the fear in your eye. You hate me so. You scorn me. Fear baits you to shoot. Fear clouds your thoughts and casts us into this world of corrupt perversion and warped abnormality. A world rife with dark masses of evil that spirals like some kind of diabolical deja vu Groundhog Day nightmare. A world baked into a society which cheers nonsense. A world that rallies around cruelty. A world that recoils truth as if it were a vicious plague. Yet the same world deeply inhales the venom spewed by falsehood as if it was a sweet-smelling perfume from heaven. There is no method to this madness, no shred of sense to be made of it. On and on it goes, this devastating cycle of running, sit-ins, marching, protesting, fighting. When will enough be enough? Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. Take a breath. Generation after generation, we have been plunged into the abyss of this evil drama. A drama that is immersed in deep-rooted syndication. We are burdened with frustration, anger, anxiety, pain. Repeat. Frustration, anger, anxiety, pain. Repeat. Frustration, anger, anxiety, pain. 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 It's getting old. We're getting old. And we're simply tired. Tired of being tired. Trudging through quicksand tired. We are beat down tired. But you know, we're not tired enough to simply linger and wallow in this tired. No, we cannot. We must not. And we will not. So, we take a stand. Just like before. And before. And before. And before. And before.
ชามิตติยาปิสังฆังสาร
Start with a prayer, then 3, 6, 7.
Alright, ready?
Start a prayer.
Did I do too much there?
No, that was perfect.
Loneliness isn't just social isolation. It's a perception of our connectedness to the people around us. The feelings of loneliness can be caused by internal factors such as worthlessness or not getting that love and attention that we really need and desire. When we don't feel worthy of people's love and attention, we go inward to protect ourselves. It's a coping mechanism. It's a defense mechanism. So what we've done for thousands of years, we've developed this coping mechanism to protect ourselves. These feelings can really be put into practice through our relationships. Acting on the feelings of loneliness can show up in the quality of our relationships and how we connect or disconnect and feel about the people around us. If our worthlessness has a narrative, and if that narrative is running the show, our brains will work really hard not to connect to others, which then perpetuates more isolation, disconnection, and the deeper feeling of loneliness. That is the defense mechanism. Fear and shame are the root of pretty much all loneliness type of feelings and emotion that come with that. This is a cycle that happens when fear and shame are running the show. Relationships help us determine and gauge how alone or connected we are to the people that care about us and actually the world around us. If we don't allow ourselves to have these opportunities to connect, how will we ever know how loved we are, how important we are? Or more importantly, how important are we in the world or our place in the world? We don't. We wouldn't be able to know that. Leaving our lonely brains to come up with the worst case scenarios over and over again, keeping us so emotionally isolated and feeling more unlovable. When we feel like we don't have a place to share our deepest feelings or thoughts or dreams or experiences, it creates that disconnected feeling between us and those people. Now, whether that is happening in reality or not, it's your perception of what's happening that actually creates the loneliness. The disconnected feeling is like a cancer that grows into the full-blown loneliness that can't just be fixed by throwing yourself into a group of people. It's an internal struggle. And loneliness hates connectedness. It hates belonging. Its goal is to keep you alone and isolated, and that's where most of its power lies. Loneliness causes us to feel very empty and alone, rejected, and even at times unlovable. And loneliness is a universal human emotion. When we stay in it too long, though, that's when it can have some serious repercussions. Not only does it affect us mentally and emotionally, it can also affect us physically. The lack of emotional closeness actually can make our bodies feel under attack. As humans, we're not designed to be alone, either emotionally or physically. We have thrived for thousands of years working together. It's ironic to think that relying on each other, we are more connected than we ever have been with technology and video messaging. When we don't have text messaging and social media connected relationships, we feel more alone and disconnected than to alert us that something is wrong than ever. And the alarm bells start to go off. Psychological and a physiological stress response, both at the same time. Being under these stress responses over, some time can cause significant health issues like suppressed immunity or, even cognitive decline, blood pressure issues, heart disease, even addiction, just to name a few. It's also been shown that people that struggle with loneliness later in life often die at an earlier age compared to people that don't really experience that emotion. Humans have an amazing coping instinct that actually helps calm our heart rate through contact with others, whether that's physical closeness, physically being alone, with connection like touch or sound or even eye contact. For others, it can help that calm. They're surrounded by people, closer connected to others, but they have this deep, overwhelming feeling of being detached. So there's an emotional distance that authentic connection. So many people around them, and to understand loneliness or how it affects you is important to take both sides into account, because it's not just through one lens. Overcoming the feelings of loneliness may seem very hard, but it is so possible, and not just to stay stuck in there. So facing our loneliness forces us to be vulnerable and face our fears of rejection or our fears of not being enough, which is a big part of social interaction. It's amazing to think just by reaching out to one person, you can feel just a little more connected and a little more alone in the world.
In working at this deep level of the body, going to the source of movement and bringing awareness to its patterning at a fundamental cellular level. Emotional memories, feelings, associations may also be brought to consciousness. Memories of the past experiences are stored within the tissues and fluids of the body. These are often lost to consciousness as the mind, unable to integrate them at the time, numbs itself to their presence by blocking the free flow of energy and movement through the area. Such stagnation seems to occur mainly in the body's fluids and soft tissues. Reawakening of awareness and movement, there may be a cause. Memories and feelings will resurface into consciousness. Soap, laundry detergent, dish detergent, toilet paper, paper towels, tissues, bleach, rubbing alcohol, a 30-day supply of your prescription medications, over-the-counter medications as desired, such as cold medicine and pain relievers, thermometers, toothpaste and toiletries, first aid products like bandages and antibiotic ointment, medical supplies like contact solutions or syringes, feminine care items, pet needs, something fun to do like board games, card games, or kids' activities, food, dry goods, canned goods, perishables, condiments, whole grains like rice, oats, quinoa, or barley, lentils, corn tortillas, bread, nuts, dried herbs and spices, tea, coffee, or other items you enjoy. canned goods.
My name is Brooke Williams, and I am an active sexual assault prevention response victim advocate, also known as SAPR VA, for the United States Navy. I want to take this opportunity to share with you a little about the program and my experience. Why I chose to become an advocate. During my college experience, an underclassman asked to go for a walk with me to ask my advice on a particular situation. I figured it had been a roommate issue or a problem with a teacher. However, when we had gotten out of earshot of other individuals, she broke down crying. And in that moment, I already knew I had failed her. I had attended lectures on sexual assault. I had gone to trainings, yet I hadn't really, truly listened. I was present in those lectures and in those trainings, but I wasn't actively engaged. Because it had always been something that was so distant from me. It had always been a problem I never thought I would have to face. How could I fail in this moment? I did my best to be an open ear for her, talked through the situation as much as she felt comfortable, and reminded her of the little information that I could remember from those courses. You can file a restricted report or an unrestricted report, but the list of the details of each were minimal that I could recall. It was that experience and that moment that forced me to commit myself to do better, to be better. I decided to volunteer for the training and provide the service of being a sexual assault response victim advocate. After my training and upon my first call to action in support of a sexual assault case, I began feeling inadequate and extremely nervous to take on this new role. Despite going through over 40 hours of in-person training and conducting additional training throughout the year to keep my certification currency up, I still felt unprepared. But my role was to be an open ear and actively engaged in providing the options available and the guidance throughout the process. We discussed what the future might look like with each option placed in front of them. My role was to help the individual navigate through the situation. We couldn't go back and change what had happened, so we had to find ways to look forward and continue working on redefining what that new path forward would look like. And a lot of what I did was just creating a safe space for the individual to talk, cry, and sometimes just sit in silence, knowing that I was one of few people who truly understood the situation and why things looked a bit different from the outside. We talked about how to handle how others perceive the situation without knowing what happened and what else was out there for resources to help the individual through this challenging time. The experience taught me that a safe space comes in variable forms. It can be an emotional safe space, one in absence of judgment where feelings flow freely and hearing yourself talk or think helps clarify an otherwise emotionally confusing time. A safe space can be a physical space where we surround ourselves with people and items of comfort, whether that be a feline companion or driving to a friend's house for a weekend escape, or even just redecorating your bedroom to make it more your own. And a safe space can also be a mental space, one where meditation becomes a routine to encourage healthy mental state, where taking yourself off of the typical work routine for a few days or weeks acts as a reminder that things aren't normal, and that's okay. But the most important thing is that your mental state is healthy and that you recognize that you don't have to keep pushing forward because society expects it. The final text was a simple yet beautiful. thank you, followed by, and I never would have thought that what I needed the most was someone to listen to me and remind me of my worth. Advocacy often looks and feels different, but the important thing is recognizing that everyone can be an advocate, whether it be through education and training, providing services, or awareness through dance. We each have a role to play. The key is recognizing when it's our turn to step up and act.